Hi, I'm Sara Low, your host for Malaysian Property Weekly Talk with PrepNext Malaysia. This COVID-19 pandemic causes a global financial disruption like never seen before in modern days. And this brings us the question whether to buy or to sell now. It is my pleasure to have Peter and Greg to join us today to share with us their point of view for today's topic. Right now, we are in the heart of KLCC, Aria Luxury Residence. And right next to me, we have two handsome guests today, which is Greg Parker from Greg Parker Channel and Peter Seo from MPTV.
Subscribe to our channel, thank you.
Hit that bell icon. Sorry.
Right.
So fast already, huh?
And we are so glad
Take
to
this
have
opportunity.
we are so glad to have a beautiful host, Sarah, hosting us today.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be able to, discuss today's topic with both of you, which is the experienced real estate negotiator in the market. I think many of us, we are really curious. Should we buy now or should we sell now? Yeah.
That's the question that everyone is asking.
Yeah.
Right.
Indeed. Okay, if you're going to ask me the question, should I buy or should I sell? If anyone's watching this, no one has ever been through a pandemic before. This is unprecedented.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, true.
It's never happened before. The rule book for real estate has basically been thrown straight out the window.
Yeah.
So what I would say is yes, it is a good time to buy if you've got the money. If you haven't, it's obviously a more
You have the point.
challenging time.
Yeah. If you don't have money, then you keep the cash.
Correct. So it is a good time, and now properties, you can grab a property 10, 20, and in some cases even 30% below market rate.
Yep. That's right. And the government is showing a lot of benefit stimulus package as well.
Yeah, correct. So for that, you mean the home ownership program, right?
Yeah, HOC.
The HOC campaigns, and which also extended, right?
Yeah.
Recently.
Right.
So and that's an interesting one, the HOC for me. It's like, I think at the beginning of this year we had 163,000 overhang of properties in Malaysia. That's a huge number. And I think it was a good idea they extended it as well. I think so.
They should.
Yeah.
They should.
Means government actually support the first property owners, first home ownership, or encourage us to buy the under construction projects and all. And even the HOC campaign, the waiver of the MOT, the memorandum of transfer, they actually put it for below 500,000 property also, right? Yeah, they give some subsidies on that for the MOT.
Right,
Yeah.
up to $1 million.
Up to $1 million, yeah, it's
up to
very,
$1
very
million.
good.
Yeah.
But just now you mentioned a good point, which is the price.
Yeah.
I think price is one of the important factor.
Indeed it is.
Yeah.
It's so crucial at the moment as well.
Yes.
Especially if you're buying for an investment. If you're buying for yourself or for your family as well, yes, that it's important. But if you're buying as an investment, you've really got to look at numbers. You've really got to select your property carefully.
True.
What do you think there?
Other than that, you could be getting a very good price now. Then another thing is that you are benefiting out of this is you're saving a lot of money. The first thing that Sarah mentioned was the MOT.
Yeah.
You get to save on that. We don't get that kind of benefits when we bought a property a few years back. Another thing is the interest rate. The OPR rate has been dropping to its lowest that it has ever been, which is 1.75%. You don't get that kind of rate. So you get to save a lot on your monthly installment as well.
This is a good point. Means that putting money now in the bank, the interest was really bad, right? It's really bad.
It's really low. It's really low. So we even have buyers coming to us wanting to invest in a property just because they don't want the money to be in the bank. Because the bank is not helping you to make more money. And
some more the
does.
inflation rate, right?
Correct.
All this, your money depreciate and all.
Right.
I think it's a good point. It's a good point.
But also buyers' behavior has changed drastically over this last 10, 11 months since the pandemic started.
Totally.
People like to stay at home now.
Yeah, or like me, move to the country. Somewhere a bit more serene, relaxing. And that's what people want. Yes, they are still buying condos, but if they have the money or they have the opportunity, they are willing to move out of the urban areas.
They need more space.
And since you are going to be spending more time at home, you come in traveling, and those people who used to travel to overseas, now they find a solution to how to meet clients online. So a lot of people has changed their needs towards a home. They need a bigger space. Majority of people needs a bigger space nowadays. Same goes to you, right, Greg?
Indeed. Now, if you have your kids, I'm going off tangent here, but it's still important. If you have a kids, 2 or 3 kids in a small condo, it's not easy to work.
True.
You need that extra space. You know,
Yeah, they feel so compressed in the confined space, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right.
So the behavior is changing, and also means that the demand is changing,
Yeah.
you know, or maybe even rising. Yeah, people are more demand, you know, not just on the price, but the demand for better, you know,
For better,
lifestyle.
yeah.
I think this is a good point.
Facilities related.
Yeah.
You know, you want, if you're going to live in a condo, you want some facilities you can actually use. Before, you may not have used them, right?
That's right.
Now you probably are, and if it's not you, it'll be your children.
Yeah.
That's right.
I think a lot of consumers, back in their mind, since the MCO started in March, right, they feel that they should wait until end of the year or after the bank moratorium ends, wait for a better deal or cheapest or lowest price. So what does it mean, lowest or cheapest to you? Maybe, Peter, you can help to answer this.
Well, that's $1 million question. You see, ever since MCO, ever since this pandemic happens, there are so many voices saying that you got to wait until after the moratorium is over. There are going to be people who can't afford a home, so you are going to get a good deal out of it. But now that with the vaccine is out, is the price going to go lower or is it going to go higher? We have no idea. No one can answer you that. So in the end of the day, the question to ask yourself is, why are you buying the property for? If you are buying it for own use, I can tell you that the price is much cheaper now. The average price is cheaper now compared to 2 to 4 years back. So you are getting yourself a good deal. So most importantly is what are the house that you want to buy for own use, because you can't wait for the house that you want to buy for own use. You found a house that you like, you are not going to wait 1 year later, then you will find the same house that you are getting, right? So for own use, the number one priority to you is you need to get a house that you love, a house that you want to stay in, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's a good point, Peter, because if the house is very cheap, but it's not the house that I like, I won't put my money in also to get it, right?
Right.
And if the house that I like, and I believe maybe other people will also like that house.
Right.
Yeah, I think this is a point to consider. So if for own stay, I think it's more on the emotional part. If you really need it, then you just get it if it's cheaper than few years back.
Yeah.
Right, because if you are buying for own stay, it's a needs. Yeah, and this needs can this needs to be waited like 1 or 2 years later? And what if you bought this house 1 year later, the price go up? How do you feel about it? And if the price really goes down, I think you will still believe that you made the right decision, because you can't find another house like this.
Like exactly the same.
Exactly the same. Yeah, that's the kind of feelings that you are getting. True. Right. But if you are buying for investment, well, the question to you is, what do you want to gain out of the investment? A lot of people are saying that the price is going to be cheaper and cheaper, but the question is, do they really know how much they want to gain out of it?
Well, I mean, Peter, let's highlight what we do know. I don't have a crystal ball, number one.
Right.
Okay, that's a given. Okay. Number two is the prices drop, say 10 to 20, maybe even a stretch over that for the last, let's just say 8 months or so, right?
Right.
It hasn't gone up to 50% like some people said.
Yes.
Okay, it hasn't stayed
Some
as
even
is.
say 70%.
Exactly. It's
Right.
kind of stayed there.
Yeah.
Singapore kind of stabilizing in Singapore at the moment. I mean, they're
That's
doing, it's pretty solid down there. Over
True.
here, I can't see it changing a lot from where it is. I think that's pretty much a fact. The other thing which is very interesting is when the moratorium does end, you're going to have fire sales, right, where prices are going to drop through. But what? 100% of all properties? No, not even slightly. You'll have a handful here and there
That's
in
right.
different neighborhoods and communities across the country,
True.
north and south of Malaysia.
Yeah.
Okay?
I think it's a good point here. The bad economic only affect those middle to low income earners.
Right.
So it won't affect the rich ones.
The business owner.
I think so. I think
The rich
so.
has got richer.
Yeah, the rich got richer. The
And
poor
there's new
got
rich as
poorer.
well.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think if it really hit the bottom price, right? I think the seller also need to pay for the outstanding bank loan, right?
Well, yeah, they have a cost.
Yeah.
They have a cost. Definitely, they are not going to sell to you a price that is going to be much lower than their outstanding loan,
Yes.
which they have to fork out more money if they sell to you, they would rather choose another option. Like what Greg said earlier, he told me that there's a refinancing options. There's other options on how do you reduce on your commitment, not necessarily from
or
the
maybe
property.
renting out.
Right.
Yeah.
So I believe there's always a base price for every properties. So back to what Greg was saying that and Sarah was saying that the price, there are people who say that the price could drop 70%. But the question to you is, if you are an investor, if there are really price that is going to drop 70%, is that your goal to invest in a property that will gain 70% for you? Because to some people out there, they do not have a goal, they do not have a direction. So even if there's really a property that drops 70%, they will still think that the price is going to go further down. Because their answer to you is, I want to make as much as possible, which there's no goal. So I believe if you are an investor in property, I'm sure you know how much you want to gain. Maybe in 5 years you want to gain a 50% or 30%, or maybe in 10 years time. Well, if you are an investor who have a clear direction, I'm sure you can see that whether now is it going to be a good time for you. So based on your experience, based on the statistic in the past, the price has dropped. If you believe that by entering now you can get the kind of percentage that you want, then now is a good time. Yeah, because no one is ever going to know when is it going to be the lowest. The same goes to rental property as well. If you see the price is dropping, if you enter now, you know that this property is going to get you like 4.5 or 5 or even higher than 5% rental yield, then it's a good time for you. So I think the idea is like it's exactly the same like stock market. No one is going to know when is it going to be the lowest, right? Right. You just need to enter it by having a goal and direction on how many percent you want to make out of it. Well, if that timing can give you that result, why not?
Yeah, I think it's a good point. It depends on when you enter and when you exit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, I think some of the sellers or vendors are indecisive whether they should sell now or later. What do you think on this?
Okay, the pandemic has changed a lot of things, and this is the biggest transformation that I've ever seen in a property market on a buyer's perception and behavior towards buying a house. So you see, ever since this pandemic happens, buyers' needs towards a house has changed. There are people who want to move out from their family to buy a house that which they can stay for their own privacy. There are even people who want to downgrade their house, but majority of the people, they want to upgrade their house to a bigger size house. There are people from condo who want to move to landed, and there are people from landed who want to move to even bigger house. So the answer to this is the market is moving. It's really active because there are a lot of buyers searching for houses. Ever since after MCO, there's so many buyers in the market wanting to buy a new home because they can't travel anymore. And now the fact that they need to increase the space in the house, which is for homeschooling, which is for home office. So the needs towards the house has changed. And some of them, they can't go to the gym anymore. They need a gym at home. And even for facilities, some of them want to go to a condo with more facilities. So when the market is active, there are buyers buying. So to the seller, I think what you want to know is whether are there buyers going to buy your house now? And yes, the market is really active now. Right, Greg.
The market is on fire. I mean, seriously, it's on fire. Every day is a new day. I would say, like, if I had a 2-bedroom condo I wanted to sell in a condominium blocks with like 1,000 units, and there's 80% for sale, it's a bad time to sell.
It is.
It's a bad time. But if I've got a unique custom or a unique place which I really think it's special, or I really think I can market it with my agent, then yeah, I think it is a good time to sell. But you only sell now if you need to sell now.
That's right.
Otherwise,
That's right.
It's not the best time to sell.
That's right.
At all.
It depends on your needs also, and
Absolutely.
also the supply and the demand, right? That determine the price.
Yeah.
How about anything that government support us, to?
Well, as we both know, as we all know, real property gains tax is a major
The RPGT.
impact. Yeah,
Right.
I mean, I've got some clients at the moment which are like, I'm probably going to sell below market rate, and they'll accept that because they know that they don't have to pay that real property gains tax. So it's
right.
kind of, I'm not going to say it's a balance, right? But I'm going to say they're trying to find a state of equilibrium, in some way. And our job at the end of the day is to try and educate and share what we know about the market, what we know about the government stimulus
to
packages
provide
at the moment.
information.
Yeah, and if it can help them make the right decision whether they should sell or not, and how much they should sell for.
I think this is a good point, Greg.
Right.
Means that you need to find a property advisor or property consultant, not just an agent, okay, to actually look into your purchase price, what are the costs, what do you save, what is the right price to sell now. You know, all this financial knowledge that you can advise, you know, to the seller.
Right.
So the seller need to find the right property consultant, on this part.
That's right. That's right. Well, if you are a seller who is looking to upgrade, well, the pandemic has come, and maybe you are someone who stay in a condo who wants to sell your property, which is a 500,000 worth of property, and upgrade to a 1 million worth of properties. Whether is it a good time to sell now? Yes. Maybe the price has dropped 10%. If you are selling at 450,000, you may lose 50,000. But if you are buying a house that is going at 1 million, the same thing happens. You might have a 10% drop in the price. So you might save more money out of that because you are going to save like 100,000 out of it.
Yeah. Yep. But I also think as well, just one more final point is, you've got to be a realist. Right? If you're going to sell your property and you think you're going to make a 30% profit margin, chances are you're probably not. Okay?
Yep.
So whoever you're talking to, whoever you're listening to, whatever research you've done as well, is look at the marketplace, like you said there as well, talk to somebody who knows the market, and also look at past transacted rates over the last couple of years, and importantly over the last 10 months. Right?
Yes.
Well, you know that better than anyone. You're the one who told me about it.
I think some of the sellers, they don't see the bank value reaching what they want, and they might need to sell at below bank value or maybe below their purchase price, right?
Right.
So how do you justify this?
Well, in the end of the day, our job is to give you information, and we want you to decide as soon as possible that whether you want to sell or not. We are not the kind of advisor that comes to you and tell you that, oh, you want to sell at a high price, we will try our very best to sell for you, and 6 months later we come back to you and tell you that it's not possible, okay? Because we want to make sure that right now, when you want to sell, you can make a decision whether is it a good time. If let's say you want to sell at this price, what you might be expecting, maybe a 6 month to 12 month time of viewings, people coming to your house. So we will also go through it on what are the category of products that you're having. If let's say your property is a 2-bedroom apartment in an area with there are 50 condos with 2-bedroom apartments, it's going to be hard. And we are going to be upfront and honest to you on that as well. So it's really depending.
Good point.
Right.
I think it's based on the surrounding or the future upcoming projects in that surrounding.
Right.
If you see there is a sign of sort of like oversupply, you know, and you don't see the potential increment of it, I think if you are not making money by selling now, I think maybe it's the right time to let go, to cut loss. And then maybe you cash out that money and invest into another property or projects that you feel that have a better capital gain or rental yield, right?
Yes, right.
I think it's a good point to look into it.
That's right.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Peter and Greg. I think
Pleasure.
today we have a lot of different kind of opinions and point of view, okay, and all the knowledge in terms of why should we buy now and why yes or no should we sell now. So do you have any closing remarks to share with our audience?
Well, to our audience out there, whether is it a good time to buy or sell is all up to you, and most importantly is do your research on the properties that you want to buy, because research is going to be what's moving you towards your decision. And also subscribe to Malaysia Property TV.
What a plug.
And Greg?
That was a great plug, Peter. I love it. I'm going to do the same as well. But first, before I do that, I would just say find a property partner who knows their shit. Right. Okay? And it doesn't have to be a real estate agent, doesn't have to be a real estate negotiator, but somebody who knows the market, knows about past transacted rates. Not someone that says they have a magic 8-ball or a crystal ball. You know, it doesn't exist.
Someone rather than just talking, but can show you the facts and figures, you know, to justify for you.
And who's a realist and won't blow smoke up you. You know what I mean? And then, of course, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Click that bell icon so you get notified next time I upload a video.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Greg and Peter.
Thank you,
Pleasure.
Sarah.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you,
so
Sarah.
much.
Cheers.
Yeah.
So remember, now stay at home, work from home, and own a home. Thank you so much for watching Malaysian Property Weekly Talk with PropNext Malaysia.
Hi everyone, my name is Marcus Ting, CEO of PropNext Malaysia. Today I'm going to share with you the concept of rental and buying a property. What is the difference? So there's the 4 things that we need to take into consideration. First, are we looking for the short term or long term? Second, are we going to have the profit or non-profit mindset? If we have the profit mindset, then we have to invest. But of course, when invest, there is a business risk. They might have the chance of making a loss. But bear in mind, for property, it's a long-term investment. Normally, the 10 years will have the double of the price that you purchased. And if you treat it as a non-profit, then the rental will become your expenses. Means that you pay out, then there's no return. But of course, with the investment, we can't use our whole 100% money, but we have to use the money from the bank. And we need to have the installment. So with the installment plus your future rental, if you want to rent it out, then it might become your profit when you want to sell your property, plus together your capital appreciation.